So I'm going to tell you about the Mindfulness and Meditation course on the Awake Human Being Academy. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that you do once and then finally your mind is perfectly balanced and centered and focused. Meditation is a process that takes time to slowly cultivate a new habit and way of getting the mind to flow. If you think about a 100-watt light bulb which scatters light in every direction from it, it's 100 watts of power that is dissipated, and as a result you get a bulb that can light up a room. But if you were to take all those light beams that come out of a 100-watt light bulb and point them all in one direction, you have then a 100-watt laser, and suddenly that is something that's incredibly powerful and can cut through things. So this is the idea of what meditation and mindfulness begins to do to our minds, is that it slowly is a process of reducing the dissipation and gradually putting it all into one direction or one flow, one focus, one pointed awareness. And it's a gradual training, and as we get better at it, our minds become more focused, we become more effective, our creativity begins to flow, and we are more able to keep ourselves on track with what it is that is our vision or movement in life, as opposed to getting pulled in a billion different directions. And the trouble in this world today is that everyone gets pulled in a very, very scattered manner and are largely ineffective. And as a result, we feel anxious, we feel unhappy, we feel depressed, we don't feel like we have a focus or that there is any meaning to any of it. It leads us to a really sort of disconnected way of being in the world, whereas meditation slowly brings you back to feeling that connection again with the flow that is your life. This course is made up of 6 modules, and it teaches a very systematic methodology of different meditation practices. Starts with body stillness, so we use the various focuses on the body as a means to develop concentration, and at the same time stillness and comfort and ease in the body, sitting still in meditation. We then move into inner stillness. Inner stillness is where we are able to view our minds and our mental processes and our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions and all the information that comes in through our senses. We're able to view them without having to react or be in a state of reactivity to the thoughts or the sensations or the feelings. And as a result, we are able to sort of rest more in the awareness that sees these thoughts and then chooses which ones to pick up, play with, and which ones to just simply let go. So that leads us to inner stillness. We then have a returning meditation, which is a very good daily practice of just returning to oneself, and finding that learning to see when we've gone off and to bring ourselves back. So it's also quite a great practice. Then there's candle gazing. Candle gazing meditation practice is one where we, specifically working to concentrate the mind, to focus it on one point and to teach it how to stay focused on one point, where it becomes a more powerful tool for us to use. And then finally in this course we also do a little bit on the heart space meditation, a slightly different focus where we meditate or we place our awareness within the physical region of the heart, and we learn to discover all the feelings and sensations that emanate from that space. Again, as an observer rather than someone that has to do anything about any of these things. The beauty of meditation is that it takes you out of a state of reactivity to the world, and brings you into a state of more listening and responsiveness to the world around you. And as a result, your creativity and your actions and the words and the deeds and your performance in the world is more aligned with what's actually happening, with the real flow of the nature that's flowing within and around us. And as a result, we tend to feel more calm, more peaceful, more balanced, more relaxed. So it is, as I say, not a quick fix. You've got to practice it fairly regularly for some period of time to really let that training occur to the mind. But to be honest, there is really no reason not to do it at this stage. The world is pulling us to pieces. We are in a very chaotic, frenetic time, so with everything that we have access to ourselves that keeps dissipating and scattering our minds everywhere, we are only going to get more and more dysfunctional, more neurotic, more psychotic, and as a result suffer anxiety, suffer pain, suffer tension, and all the other negativities that are coming with the world in which we live in, where we are unable to maintain a sense of peace and calm within our own being. And meditation and mindfulness are one of the ways in which we can bring ourselves to feeling, even in chaos, a place of peace and calm. So it's really, really worth pursuing meditation as a practice. It's something that becomes just a moment of 20 minutes a day, however long you give yourself to do it, which is a real blessing of just being able to sit and rest within the experience of your own awareness and to see what is on the mind, what is going on, how are you feeling, to check in, to begin to connect with who you really are, and to develop a deeper sense of that, so that you can ground yourself in that experience and become a more embodied human, and as a result be much more effective in the world, in your life, in your relationships, and in your workplace. So there are many, many benefits to meditating, and I would say at this stage, mental health is probably the primary use of it, and one needs to start to cultivate the sort of tools that pull us in the opposite direction to where the world and humanity are generally taking us now. The other aspect of the course is mindfulness. So along with formal sitting meditation practice, we also have something that we can focus on during our day, during our activities, during our relating with others, with our work, with what it is that we get up to in a day. We have these little practices that help us to develop and create to cultivate a bit more mindfulness and awareness around what it is that we're doing, to cultivate a little bit more mindfulness and awareness about the consequences of our actions, of our speech, the awareness of how we are affected by others, by the world around us, by the things that we're being exposed to begin to see all of that without it being something that pulls us down or pulls us sideways or distracts us or dissipates us, but is something that we can then actively choose to either involve ourselves in or just leave alone. And that's where the mindfulness training becomes very, very useful.